Hi everyone, welcome to Final Thoughts ahead of Game Week 16. Pras, how you doing, mate?
The question is not how I am doing. The question is how you are doing. I saw some
I've had,
tweets on X and tell us, how are you?
I've had a rough couple of game weeks. Very, very difficult ones to take. I think last week was the worst of the worst. Like literally, like 10 or 11 million game week rank. It's almost difficult to do it. So it was a difficult one to take. I'm not quite sure what's happening. I look at my team on here with you and I think that's not too bad. And then it goes into the game week and it's a body blow. So fortunately for me, 5 free transfers this week, which I've already got stuck into it. You could tell there's a bit of rage in there. It was difficult to control not making any moves. I've done 3 moves, which we're going to go into in a minute in my team. But 34 points I got last week, Press. Literally no one returned. My highest returner was Senesi, and he was on a bench. And unlike millions of other managers who got bench jam, I never. Yeah. Let me not moan too much on
So,
here,
so
but yeah,
like last week, most players blanked. It's just
yeah.
Foden and Bruno that did all
That's
right.
and I didn't own both of them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I know. Of all the weeks, I remember I had Bruno at the start of the season. Had him during the phase where he missed the 2 penalties. We always knew he was going to be a good pick. I didn't expect. Well, I mean, Wolves have been terrible, but I didn't expect that. Literally, they gifted Man United that first goal, and then from then on, it was curtains.
Hmm.
So yeah, watching that game was very difficult without Bruno and without Foden. I mean, Foden's one's even more phenomenal. Nothing. And then 3 game weeks of literally anyone that owned him is probably 60 points ahead of me, just like that, from one player. So yeah,
Yeah, but the reverse can
tough.
also happen. That's all I'll say.
Say that again, Press. Just cut out there a little bit.
The reverse can also happen where you have that player and they score double digit, and then you gain. Like, don't give up. Like the reverse can happen. More Fodens will come this season.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm trying to stay optimistic. I've not given up. You're gonna see my team. I've not started to do crazy things, but yeah, as I said, it's a difficult one. When I saw in every one of my mini leagues, the red arrows were huge. Like, woof,
Yeah.
people that weren't even making moves. There was a couple of guys in one of my other mini leagues. One of my mates, he was moaning he's given up because he forgot to check his team. He had much more points than me. He had like double more
Oh
points. I was
man.
like, oh my, I know. I was like, this is painful. So yeah, but like you said, maybe I can turn it around. Let's see. But you had a good game week here.
I mean, I had Foden and Bruno, but I wouldn't say I had a good game week. It was an okay game week in the sense that I got a small green arrow. Like, it was not huge, but I'm not going to complain in front of you, who had a much worse week than me.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I just have to grit my teeth and keep going. But hopefully, I'm going to try to stay optimistic. I don't want to bring the tone down. I'm hoping it's going to turn around. That's all I can hope for. It's not halfway of the season yet. 3 more game weeks, but it's not looking good. It's not looking
I
good.
mean, there's
And you're
been
going to
there's
see,
been some chaos already this week, right? Even with the 5 free transfers, Munoz injury, Timber's a little bit uncertain. We'll come to him when we talk about our teams. So there has been a little bit of like shakeup. So we'll see what the 5 free transfers bring. I'm now excited because I'm seeing a lot of people spending the 5 free transfers, or 3, 4, 5 free transfers. That, yeah, there will be some edges coming later if you have these extra transfers.
well, the spoiler, I've already used 3, and it probably my team doesn't look as good as yours already, which is not a good place to be in. But I've had to take drastic action to stop the plummet. Let's just say that. So I've made some moves, and we're gonna go into my team and you. Whoa, apologies for that. It's noticeable straight away. So here, there you go. Look, I've gone to a 4-4-2 shape. I'm going to run through the team, then I'll tell you the transfers, and you could see I've still got 2 remaining with 1 million. I might even use all 5. Uh, I
That's
would
okay.
not be
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Raya in goal versus Wolves, so at least goalkeeper in theory a good fixture. Virgil van Dijk, Timber, O'Reilly, and Senesi, who's yellow flagged. Like you said, Timber and Senesi, both yellow flagged, which is not ideal. Saka, who's currently captain. Bruno Fernandes, after destroying me, I've brought him in. And the guy beside him, Phil Foden as well. And it's not even, you know what
Who
makes it
did you
worse,
sell? Who
guys?
did you sell, and
So
how did you fund these moves?
so the two that got sold was Enzo Fernandez and what's it, Semenyo. So they're the two that went in that midfield, which I kept faith in those two for way too long. And to be fair, it's not just those two the reason why it's been tricky lately. The other guys have not been doing much. All the players I've owned kind of at the wrong time. They've just not delivered. That's it, really. Because when you look at the team, even before those transfers, it looked all right, but they just
Yeah,
don't return. Minter versus Liverpool. He's one I'm going to talk to you about now, whether he could potentially be a transfer out. And Haaland and Thiago. So obviously, I had another striker, I had Voltemade, who left for Mark Gui to free up the money as well, Pras. That's how the money was made. Okay, so that was the free transfers out. Voltemade, Enzo Fernandez, and Semenyo. They left, and they're the three that came in. In theory, again, I'm going to say it again, I'm scared to say it. The team looks okay, apart from the injured players. So I'm going to start with what do you think, for example, with Timber? Do you reckon it's likely he's gonna play? Because a lot of people will own him or own Arsenal defenders.
Uh, this is obviously conjecture because we don't know, and Arteta is not going to tell us much.
Yeah.
But the fact that he traveled tells me that it's not too bad. Like, if it was bad, he would not have traveled. You can take a contrarian view and say maybe he traveled and then they found out, oh, it's much worse, and then they took him out of the squad. Both I can understand, but it was a kick. This is the league. Ben White got a lot of these minutes. They are short of centre backs. It's, I think he will play. But then, yeah, it is Wolves. Like, if he's not ready, then they don't have to risk him either. But it's the league. They just lost to Aston Villa. Man City look really good. So can they take a chance? I think if he's 75%, he just starts and he misses again. They have no game midweek, by the way. This is the other thing for people to know, because there's Carabao Cup fixtures midweek, but because Crystal Palace have a European game, Arsenal have no fixture midweek, so they have a full midweek free. So this is why I'm bullish on Arsenal minutes, as long as the player is fit.
And I'm with you there. I'm hoping Timber is going to be fit because he's like, I mean, this is it is the best fixture possible realistically for a defender and for an attacker, as we saw last game week. So I am really hoping he starts. Okay. The other flag player, it says 75% with a potential fire injury, Senesi. I mean, whether I'd want to play him anyway against Manchester United, who showed whether Manchester United were very good or Wolves were terrible, or it's a combo of both, whether this is a good fixture here. I've got 2 free transfers. Praz, is this now the opportunity where I do something like Senesi to Anderson and just fix that and then stop even worrying about that? Or the reason, if I didn't have to do so much surgery, I think that would have been an easy move, or to bring him in, or maybe even take Rodon there and keep Senesi potentially. It's a possibility. The reason I say to you, I'm asking you if that is a good move or not, because there's also Fulham have got lovely fixtures, but it's possible to take Minter to say Wilson. Is that a better use of a transfer and gamble and hope Senesi plays? If he doesn't, Zaka just comes on against Newcastle, or I could put Rodon there. What do you think about that?
So I think you need to roll forward your team a little bit. Like, a lot of people are trying to perfect their team this week, but then if they look at their team next week, they have over perfected, if that is even possible. Because look who Senesi plays next week, Burnley at home.
Yes.
Who does Minte play next week?
He's got, was it West Ham? Or was it Sunderland? Sorry. Yeah.
So, and Sunderland without their AFCON players.
Yes.
So, are they sells? You can sell. You don't have to. But now that you've made the move for them, I'm a little confused why just one game week later you have a glorious fixture. Like, the best fixture that you can have for a defender right now is Burnley at home. For a defender that also defcons, I guess Wolves at home is also very good. But
yeah,
I don't see why you would sell Senesi. Like, if you had to sell Rodon, get your Anderson, bench Minte or Senesi, whichever one you don't like this week. Then next week your team looks fantastic. Next week you have Senesi home to Burnley, Minte home to Sunderland, Bruno, Foden, Saka all have good fixtures. Haaland and Thiago have good fixtures. You can bench Van Dijk away to Tottenham and you can play 4-4-2 next week. because Anderson is playable next week as well. So if you were to use a transfer, I would say instead of looking at Minte to somebody or Senesi to somebody, do Rodon to somebody.
Yeah, because the money's there. I agree with you. I think sometimes you don't want to spend the money just in case, Praz, there's something pops up in midfield or somewhere else. But you're right. At the moment, I don't see myself veering away up front. So unless something drastic happens, midfield, I think I've got all of the guys who have been doing the damage recently. I think it's the lure of the Fulham next three. So the Fulham next three fixtures, Praz, look really, really good. I'm going to flick through to it now and we can have a little look. They're top of the fixture ticker there in the scout members area. And you can see, look, it's Burnley, Nottingham Forest and West Ham. So you can see why the temptation is. But I agree with you. If you look at Senesi, like in the next game week, where is he? Bournemouth, like you said, it's not too bad. I know. I think maybe being a little bit hasty to perfect the team for this game week here and just to tap into those Fulham fixtures. And especially when you look at Minter, who has been disappointing, Praz. He's cheap, but he has been a bit frustrating.
Do Xhaka to Wilson if you want. Why do you need to take Minte and Senesi out? Is my point.
Yeah,
and you can
no,
also
that's definitely an option.
Fulham's fixtures by getting Anderson. It just doesn't have to be Wilson.
Yeah, that's actually a good option. Zaka's one because he's similar price. I mean, he's gone up. He's 0.2 more than Zaka. And for those next three fixtures, that is actually a decent shout. It allows me to be able to move to midfield 5 when I don't want and or a 4 as well when Minter's got good fixtures. So that actually works, you know. That probably works better than moving Rodon to Anderson. If you had to pick a choice then, yeah, Praz, between Rodon to Anderson or Zaka to Wilson, what would you do in that opinion? Say the two choices.
I mean, I just think we're in 4-4-2 season. Like
yeah,
this season
I'd agree.
4-4-2 season. So if you're playing 4-4-2, then having 5 good defenders just works a lot better, according to me. And I also think Anderson is just a better pick. Like he defcons a lot. He's got 3 decent fixtures, and at home they've been very decent. Apart from the Man City game, they've been very good at home. I know this is a bit early, but next game is a home game. So I prefer for Anderson, but look, I understand you want to chase, and Milton is a good chasing pick because he does have that brace in him, a random brace which he sometimes pops up with. So I get it that he's a good chasing pick, but I definitely don't think you should sell Anderson or Minter. And it's team dependent in your particular team because you need them next week, and you can have that upside when people have sold Senesi and Minter. That upside exists next week because they have good, fantastic fixtures.
Yeah, no, definitely agree with you. I did look forward. I did look at one of the reasons we bought Minter in. The fixtures are nice. If you're patient, I know that you have to alternate with them, hence why you need another player. I mean, to be fair though, it's not like Liverpool have not been leaking goals. I know that midweek in Champions League, they were not too bad against Inter. But why couldn't Minter even return in that game? Even worse comes to worse, and I didn't make a change and I played him. So I agree with you. You have to look forward. I'm not trying to base the team just for the next game week, but without a doubt, as it's been a painful last 2 game weeks, it is almost maybe trying too hard. But I think since I've made those changes now, I'm looking, I am thinking it's not too bad. But what did you think of the moves at Impact anyway, Praz? I know they only bring the team up to a team that plays that most people that are engaged managers that I've already got, if I'm honest with you. But what do you think of the team now? How's the team looking?
I mean, with Mateta's issues, I think Mateta to a cheap striker, everyone is doing. So now you have extra funds. Could you have waited on the Enzo to Foden move for a week? Maybe. Semenyo to Bruno, I understand, is good enough this week. But with Foden rising price, look, I understand, and I'm not going to say you could have waited or whatever. I think there are 3 solid moves. It's the 4th one where you're now debating: shall I go upside this week versus leaving flexibility for next week, or shall I attack this week a little bit more? And there's no right answer here. It's really what do you feel like doing? But shifting to a 4 at the back structure with 5 good defenders, I don't hate it at all. Or 5 good midfielders, like if you did Wilson instead of Xhaka, I think it could be worth it. And especially if you roll forward to meet the next Arsenal away game, because you probably want to bench him for that as well. Because after that, he has Burnley at home, which is another beautiful picture, and West Ham away. So I want to keep him for all the 3 and bench him for Arsenal away. if you can work through that structure where that works, go for it.
But that's actually a very good shout. I'm definitely going to consider that. I'm going to say to everyone watching, apologies for the technical difficulties. I'm not quite sure what's happening today. Like really, and last week we suffered a little bit, but I'm going to look into what's actually happening. I'm not sure. Yeah, just some technical gremlins, but we'll sort that out for
Was that
the
lagging
next
turn?
pod. Yeah, only a little bit, Praz. We heard the majority of it, like a little bit cutting here and there, but yeah, I think it's something on my setup that I need to try look into.
Apologies.
But if you notice, yeah, exactly. Apologies, guys. We'll try to sort it out for next week. Just bear with us on this one here. So all the stuff you said, it's actually very good. It's made me think. That's one avenue I wasn't considering. I'm definitely going to look at that. So it's realistically the choice now. If I do make a move, whether I want the 5 defenders that are pretty good, I can rotate with, or the 5 midfielders. Simple as that. Then I'll look at where I can go. And yeah, that's really good. Captaincy, let's leave that for your team, actually. Let's leave that for your team. So that's my team. I don't think there's anything else for me to discuss on my team. Say that again, sorry.
Question to you, if there's an issue with Senesi or Timber, then you might need to think about 1 or 2 extra moves, right? And so what would you do if Timber was out or if Senesi was out?
This is probably one of the reasons why I maybe was thinking of those moves where you thought maybe I'm trying to force it a bit too much, because I am considering it. What happens, say Senesi doesn't play. Do I just play Zaka, or is that the place where I have Wilson in and it's not a problem? Senesi can be on the bench. If I find out tomorrow Senesi's not playing, I'll still do the move. In fact, it won't be impacted. I'll still probably do, like you said, either Rodon to Anderson or Wilson to Zaka, which leaves them, they can go on the bench. So next week, the team looks good as well. I think what you said makes more sense there, actually. Instead of just getting this game week's team look immaculate, then that way I'll still have next week's team looking in good shape as well. But that's all I would do. I'm hoping press conferences. I don't think we're going to get anything from Arteta. We might get something for Senesi to see if he's okay. I don't know if you've got any updates on him, Praz, with Senesi. Have you heard any more that he's likely to start?
No.
Nah. Yeah, nor have I. So that's it. I'm going to judge it. I think I'm going to make one more move, which should give me the comfort if one of these players, if I don't need them, if that makes sense. So, for example, just say I bought Wilson in for Zaka, Price, and Senesi doesn't play. So I can have Minter come on, for example. Just say if I wanted to do that, something like that. It's not too bad. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It gives me. I mean, you're not suggesting I should change one of them if I hear they're not playing. Say no. Timber, you hear he's out for no, you can't take him out. No.
Timber is different. Like if Timber is out, let's say he's out, then I'd be tempted to do Timber to Anderson and let's say Xhaka to Rice or something like that. Could also be a move you could look at.
Yeah, if he's fully out, like we get something that he's out for a couple of weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah. I think like you, though. I think he's going to play. I'm not going to consider that unless somehow training pictures or Arteta, someone breaks some news. For now, I'm looking at him. He's going to start, and we'd all be gutted if he misses the Wolves fixture.
You're right, because before the Champions League game, Timber is also in training pictures. So yeah.
I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be okay. Anything else to discuss on my team?
I think it looks good.
Exactly.
Man. Good luck.
I think it looks. Well, I've been saying this to you for quite a lot of weeks, Praz, and all my players dodge points. The only difference is now, if my players dodge points now, even your players will dodge points. This is what I've gone and done now. So you should be very, very worried. That's all I'm going to say to you. Anyway, you can run us through your team, mate.
Okay, I'll read it out. I've got Raya, I've got Anderson, Timber, and Van Dijk. Captain Saka, who we'll talk about, Anderson, Minte, Foden, Bruno, Haaland, and Thiago. So I think team looks fine. Anderson and Minte are the only 2 that I don't love as picks, but Anderson is fine. Minte is okay. So the thinking is I could do, I've already done Mateta to Thiago. So I've got 1.3 million in the bank. Okay. I could do Rodon to O'Reilly. So make it even more like your team. Or I could just leave it and next week I could use my transfers and attack. And next week I could get Semenyo in for 1 week, home to Burnley. And then Semenyo could become Szoboszlai. So when I have the luxury of a lot of transfers, I'm thinking
Yeah.
I can do stuff like that, where Anderson can become Semenyo next week, Semenyo can become Szoboszlai the week after. So, and Nico Riley will also come in next week, possibly for Timber. It could be for Senesi. So these is the routes that I'm planning. But for this week, the idea is, shall I get O'Reilly for Rodon and bench Minte, or shall I leave it? That's where I am. And I'm inclined towards leaving it, only because Minte is also okay. Like, O'Reilly away to Crystal Palace is not the best fixture. And he's not nailed on to start. He played 90 minutes against Madrid. So
He scored.
he did score, and he can score, but we can't go with FOMO, right? I mean, what I
Oh,
really need
yeah.
him for is the home to West Ham game next week. That I really need him for. And he
Also,
will
more
be.
than likely. So, okay. So, even if you don't do it this week, Praz, he comes in next week. Okay, all
Correct.
right. So you're just looking at the Palace fixture, who won, by the way. We're recording on Thursday after that fixture. Palace did win today, if I'm right. If I'm sure I checked it earlier on. They did, yeah.
3-0.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so that'll be a tricky fixture for Manchester City. So okay, so that's one transfer you're considering. Is that the only one? So actually, let me ask you. I've got a question regarding the 5 transfers, but before I ask you that, I just need to say, if you're like me and Praz and you're struggling to buy a Christmas present, look no further. Sam's got you covered.
I definitely do, guys. As FPL managers and content creators, December is our busiest time of year. There are 6 FPL deadlines in just 29 days, and with all that FPL tinkering, it's easy to forget to start your Christmas shopping. So maybe this Aura frame is the perfect last-minute lifesaver. It's the perfect gift to send your family anywhere in the world. The Aura frame has a handy app that you can use to upload unlimited photos and videos straight from your phone, just by connecting the frame to the Wi-Fi. You can also preload photos before it even ships and keep adding them from any time or anywhere. It comes in a beautiful gift box with no price tags and brings the whole family together, even if you can't actually be together during the festive season. For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.co.uk to get 35% off the best-selling Carver matte frames, named the top frame by The Independent, using the promo code SCOUT at checkout. That's Aura, AURA, frames.co.uk, and the promo code is SCOUT. SCOUT. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out really fast, so you order yours now and get it in time for the holidays. Support us by mentioning us at the checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
So what I wanted to ask you, Praz, that move, that strategy you were saying regarding you might start moving the midfielders 1 week this, 1 week that, 1 week this, is that because of the 5 transfers? That's something you wouldn't normally do. Is that the comfort? Because you've got the luxury of you can go aggressive for the next 3 to 4 weeks and target the best fixtures.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, like, if you look at my team, I don't want to sell Saka. I don't want to sell Minte, Foden, and Bruno. Haaland, I don't want to sell. Thiago, I don't want to sell. Van Dijk for the next 4, which includes Wolves at home, Brighton at home, and there was one other nice fixture that he has. I think Burnley away.
Wolves.
Well, Wolves at home is in 18, and then who do they have in 19? That's another easy game.
Is it Leeds?
It could be Leeds.
Let's have a look. So I've got it here. So we've got Liverpool, Brighton, Tottenham, Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves and Leeds at home.
Yeah,
Wolves at home, Leeds at home. So Van Dijk won't go anywhere between those games. I know people don't like Van Dijk, but their defensive data is actually improving a lot, so I don't mind him. And he gets closer and closer to a goal every single game. Couple of times even, in fact, per game. So I'm happy to have him. So that's the thinking, right? Then in that case, I can be a little bit more aggressive because I have all these transfers and I can be aggressive on different players. I can go for Everton in 2 weeks. I could go for Bournemouth next week. I can get a Liverpool attacker. So these are things that I'm thinking where if people are using up their transfers today, they're not going for Everton defenders or Liverpool attackers or Semenyo. So that's what I can do.
So that's when you can gain the edge. I didn't hear you mention Wilson. Is that not the type of move that interests you, Praz? Is that just too far out there? I mean, he's been pretty good recently. You have to say he's actually a good player. And the fixtures are very, very good. But you've not mentioned him. Is that not someone you would risk? Do you see him as the same?
60 odd minute subs. So,
But isn't the competition going to AFCON, if I'm right in saying that or not? I can't remember actually. Should that improve his minutes?
easy. Like maybe I need to do some research. That are his minutes going to improve materially?
Maybe,
and it's only 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Only 3 weeks. So look, he's fine. Wilson is great, but not my kind of pick as such. Like for me, Keane, he plays Burnley in 2 weeks is more appealing. Szoboszlai for Wolves at home, Leeds at home. I think that is appealing. I think that's how I'm targeting it. Semenyo home to Burnley. Like Wilson is also fine, but I'd rather turn that Anderson spot into somebody bigger.
Well, a more expensive defender. You'd put the money there.
Or a more expensive midfielder, right? If I go up to Szoboszlai, for example.
Okay. And no other so you've got 4 transfers. What a lovely luxury that is. It's a game changer. And 1.3 million in bank. You literally can respond to anything. And I'm going to ask you the same question. If you hear Timber, say you hear he's out of the Wolves game, if that's all you hear, are you going to act on that or no?
100%. Timber will become Riley and Anderson will become Rice.
Is that what you do, yeah, Pras? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
And with Senesi, if you hear he's out as well, or that's not a problem for you?
Yeah, I'm not playing Senesi this week anyway. But if Senesi is out even for next week, let's say he's out for a few weeks.
Yes.
Then Senesi can become O'Reilly. Because that I can just get it done this week, even if I don't have to play him. But I will then play O'Reilly over Minte.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. You're in real good shape. As I said, I've had to do a lot of surgery to even get clock. In fact, I don't think my team is as good as this, and I've used 3 transfers. Yeah, not great at all. Are you still happy with Anderson pick?
Which Anderson?
Oh yeah, of course he got the Nottingham Forest midfielder.
No, I'm not happy, but he's always the glue guy, right? He'll get 4 points. So, like, if you give me 4 points again, I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I'll take it, and then I'll move him on. So it's not the end of the world having him. Maybe there's an odd chance of a assist or something, but give me 4 points, and then I'll move him on. He's not amazing, and now that I have money to spend, I would rather upgrade him into, like, if Szoboszlai, I have enough money now to do Anderson to Szoboszlai right now for 1 free transfer. But then I'm thinking, Szoboszlai 4 yellow cards. If I get him and then he gets a yellow card, and then I have more issues. Like, team is fine right now. Why do that this week? Home to Spurs is a good game for DEFCON and possibly how they will do in the game anyway.
I'm not sure if you saw, you're just in and out there a little bit. This today, technical difficulties. But I got the majority of what you said. Did you see Liverpool's sort of new system against Inter Milan? Made them a much more defensively solid. Having said that, Inter weren't exactly, ultra pushing like teams in the Prem would. And Szoboszlai took the penalty. Now, we're not quite sure. Well, I'm not even sure myself, because I don't think anyone's confirmed it with Liverpool, whether he would still be the penalty taker. Slot did mention that he's a good penalty taker and he takes them for his country, which makes it really appealing. But we don't know if Isak wasn't on the pitch. What do you think that makes him? Do you think he does take them, Pras? It makes him more appealing?
Well, you see, this is where people get confused. You may think that Isak is above Szoboszlai in the pecking order, but Isak's not on the pitch all the time, just like we saw in the Inter Milan game.
Yeah.
So Szoboszlai is still now a better pick than he was by midweek, because he is now on second in line on penalties, which is huge in itself.
Yes, agree. It's similar to Voltemade and Gordon sort of scenario. When Gordon's off, Voltemade takes them straight. Yeah, I agree with you there. And that system, do you think that Slot will try that again, or in the Premier League, or you think no, just because of injuries of Gakpo, and then I think Chiesa was sick, so it was limited with wide players. There was none, and then obviously the Salah issue, which I've not asked you about. I should quickly get your opinion, actually.
You should tell me about the Salah issue. What do you think? You're the Liverpool fan.
I'll tell you what, I was really upset. I was really upset because not just what Salah done, which I would say is it's not good. Of course, it's not good for the team, for the teammates. But I was really upset with the outcome that it could turn out to be that he leaves via the back door. And he's been such a good player he's a player that I love watching play, and he's been incredible for like 10 years in the Prem. So that will be sad. I really want them to make up. So hopefully give him a good send-off in summer. But that would require him apologizing. So I could see why he was getting upset, Pras. If I'm honest with you, I know it sounds silly. I'm not saying the outcome, what he done is correct, but I can see why, because he's almost like been made out to blame for Liverpool losing and conceding goals and everything, where in reality is he was trying to do what he's been doing for the last 9 years. All the other stuff has moved around him. Yeah, his performances might have dropped a little, but all the other stuff around him has moved, which has resulted in this. But it's like he feels that he's been made a scapegoat. So I get it, but he shouldn't have done that. Yeah, terrible, the timing, everything about it. And now, do we ever see him in a Liverpool shirt again? What do you think? Do you think we're going to see him again, Praz, back in Liverpool and in our FPL teams?
But if Slot doesn't get results while Salah is away, then Slot's done for, right? So then Salah will come back.
Yeah, but we did. I mean, the argument, and Slot almost mentioned it a couple of times in certain press conferences, that since he's dropped Salah, I think he got the West Ham result. He said he nearly got a clean sheet apart from the deflection. Was it Sunderland, I think? So he's almost hinting at, like, my decision was correct. I dropped him and we improved in defensive solidness. So it's a tricky one there. And the club sounds like they've backed Slot, but the players maybe have backed Salah. You can understand that. So it's not a good situation. I'm hoping it almost rallies the team and we have that moment, a turning point in the season, because it's been a terrible season and this will just really, it will put a downer on it even more. So I hope that turns around. But I think that's the reason he played that formation against Inter, by the way. I'm not quite sure if we're going to go down that avenue, this Diamond and Ekitike. I'm not sure. So you're happy then Salah's...
Why not, though? Because Gakpo's out for a while, no? And Salah's now gone, so why wouldn't he play that two up top?
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, if there's injuries, of course. No, sorry. That's different. I meant going forward with Slot. From my research and just understanding him as a manager, even for his previous roles, he's always preferred wide players. Probably the wide players we've got, I don't think he favors them. I read that he really wanted to keep Diaz and they overruled him. We're looking at Semenyo, if we believe what we read, and probably other wide players. So I think he prefers the wide players. So that's what I meant. But if injuries, of course, no, you got to adjust to the squad you've got. Yeah. And no, I agree with you that for that, I'd agree with that. But let's hope we see Mohamed Salah again. Don't forget, Praz, I've still got my free hit. I was hoping I could pick him in if I use it in game week 19, just say something like that. But I'm not sure that's going to happen. Was there anything else with regards to your team? Was there anything else to discuss your team? Let's talk captaincy, actually. So captaincy this week is it's an opportunity again for us to go against Haaland. Now, Haaland, we know, is relentless. He can easily score against Crystal Palace, 1 or 2 goals, even though Palace have been very good defensively. But that performance, I think, against Manchester United is so ingrained. It is in if you don't own Bruno, you can still see it if you close your eyes. But it's made the majority of us pick. It's made the majority of us pick Saka captain. Was you solid on this captaincy even before that fixture last week, Praz? Honestly, yeah, for Saka captain.
I was sold on the captaincy since Gameweek 12, and I said that in 12, 14, and 16, I will go against Haaland. And in 12, I picked Saka. Saka scored 4, Haaland scored 2. In 14, I picked Bruno. Bruno scored 4, Haaland scored 14. And I will do it again. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it was supposed to be a block of 3 that I was going against Haaland.
How tight do you think it is? I know you look a lot at the data and stuff like that. What's the predicted data, do you reckon, for say Saka and Haaland at the moment? Like, have you had a chance to look? Who's predicted higher?
Way higher. Saka is way higher.
Is it way higher? Okay, because of the fixture.
Simply because Saka is almost starting on 2.5 points, because you have 50% clean sheet odds. So in fact, 3 points. So so it's almost like you're getting your clean sheet and your appearance points. So 1 point more than Haaland as a beginning, as a head start. 1 point more than Haaland for a goal. And so even if they both come out scoring 1 goal each, Saka can outscore him by 2 points just by that. So
Yeah.
I know what Haaland can do. Every time when people don't go against Haaland, doesn't mean they hate Haaland or they think Haaland will do badly. They're just hoping a little bit to get lucky with another pick that is also can be explosive. And Bruno showed last week that he can be explosive. It's just he did it in the wrong week for people who captained him against West Ham. So yeah, just roll the dice. That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. That's my thinking as well. I mean, Saka got a full rest against a midweek when Arsenal still won, which is very good. That bodes well as well. Hopefully the minutes are good. But Saka this season has not exactly been explosive, has he, Pras? I know maybe that term in explosive, but
Bruno hadn't been either.
who hasn't? So say that again. It cut out there.
Bruno hadn't been explosive either.
Okay, I see your point, and you're right. That's a good answer. He wasn't, and then the fixture turned up, and then he was. Yeah, that's easily. I mean, that's the reason. I think Saka this season, when I look at his money, remember I said to you, was it last week, that I did consider, if I had an opportunity to go sideways, to move him to Rice, but obviously you would never do that this week here. If you don't own Saka, and you own, say you own the double defense and Rice, would you go Rice over Haaland or not? Would you do that, Praz, or is
No.
that too far? You wouldn't do that,
Not
no.
too far. Yeah.
Okay, so
the
only
lack
Saka.
of penalties for Rice and goal share. Like Rice is a good trickler, but
Yeah.
he's not a captain. Like Haaland is the better captain.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. Yeah, I just thought I'd ask the questions. All right, so you're pretty set this week, and we're gonna finish up a bit quicker actually today because of the technical difficulties. But I want to ask you. There's a couple of questions I had. I want to ask you. I've got these questions. So, if you had triple captain, so we're talking about Arsenal. So we already said Saka is your favorite captain. If you had triple captain, Praz, would you put it on Saka this week?
He's the best differential triple captain left. So if you wanted to play it on a different player, forgetting about just outcome and just hoping to get lucky, then I think yes, he's the best differential captain. But Haaland home to West Ham is also a very, very good triple captain. Like when you're triple captaining, you're not going against Haaland this week. You're going against Haaland against West Ham, where you could have also triple captains. Think about that.
Yeah, and I'm still remembering Praz when I triple captained him against Leeds and he didn't have one shot. So yes, you brought back some memories there. But I agree with you.
I don't know how you do it.
I don't know as well. I really don't know as well. Let's see if this continues. Another question for you. So Munoz is injured. Praz, very popular. He's been incredible this season. He's out for, it seems like, what seems a bit, he's meant to have surgery, so should be out for a while. What should people do with Munoz? Like, what's the best replacement? Go to another Palace defender or take the opportunity to go somewhere else?
I think downgrade to Anderson or O'Reilly, or if you wanted to go similar, then go to Timber or Hinkepié. Like those are the 4 options in my mind.
Okay. Another question, as I said to you, some of these questions got them from X people asking certain questions, and I thought I'll put them to you. If you have held on to Pope, me and you both had him. We've got rid a couple of weeks back. But if we had held on to him now, I saw Eddie Howe, who's another guy you're not quite sure to believe him. He said he's getting closer. He said of all the injured players, he's the closest. Would you still keep him now, or is that pointless? Paz, with these 5 free transfers, should people just sell him?
No, I think you can keep him because you can play Dubravka this week, right? Fulham at home, and then next week you see if Pope is playable, and if he's not, you can still make that transfer next week. But yeah, the better entry point for Raya is this week, obviously. So if your move next week is going to be him to Raya, then might as well do it this week. But if it's going to be somebody else like Verbruggen, then wait.
Cool. Thank you for that. And I think there was one more question, but I'm sure you touched on it earlier on. It was basically, would you sell Minter to Wilson? That's one of the questions I think someone asked me.
I'm not getting the whole Minter hate, man. Like, come on, the guy's 5.5 million. Like, cut him some slack. It's okay. In one game he blanked. He's got 3 more excellent games coming up. Like, be patient.
Yes, totally agree. And Mbumo, if you had Mbumo, a lot of people owned him. You play him, or would you take the opportunity to go sideways? As I said, you've got the luxury transfers. A lot of managers out there, Pras, making moves they normally wouldn't consider. Would you take Mbumo to Bruno Fernandes?
I mean, I have him, so yes, I would. But I think Mbumo is also a great pick this week against Bournemouth. I think it suits it in terms of his game strat.
Cool. And on that note, we're going to leave it before while the while it's still working. Thank you very much for that, Praz. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, some of your good luck rubs off on me this week. Let's hope so.
My good luck, man. I'm sitting in 1 million as well. Stop jinxing my team.
I'm not jinxing you. Listen, I've been doing pretty well. It's working. You're getting green arrows, and I'm not. So let's hope. Okay, let's hope both of us get something this week.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Listen, if you're still watching, please like, subscribe. Really appreciate that. And as I said, next week, hopefully, the technical difficulties would be gone. So thank you very much, Praz. Take it easy, mate, and I'll see you next week. All right.
See you all next week.